The sterile glow of the monitor bathed Marcus's face in an artificial light, a stark contrast to the gnawing anxiety that had become his constant companion. Tonight was the culmination of months of meticulous planning, a digital heist meticulously crafted to bypass the formidable defenses of Chase Bank. His weapon of choice? A sophisticated network of spoof bots designed to mimic the bank's own fraud department with unnerving accuracy. He'd started small, a few dozen compromised email addresses, a carefully curated list of recent account holders displaying unusual activity. The bots, programmed with an unsettlingly polite and professional script, were the key. They'd reach out to these unsuspecting individuals, posing as concerned representatives from Chase Bank. "We've detected suspicious activity on your account, sir/madam," the automated voice would purr, laced with just the right amount of urgency. "To ensure the security of your funds, we require a brief verification of your login credentials." The initial phase had been deceptively simple. The bots, armed with AI-generated conversational nuances, would guide the victims through a simulated security protocol. They'd ask for usernames, then passwords, then often a secondary verification code, all while projecting an air of helpfulness and concern. Marcus, monitoring from his darkened apartment, felt a perverse sense of pride in the elegance of his deception. He wasn't a brute force hacker. He was an architect of perception, a digital illusionist. One of his first successful targets was an elderly woman named Eleanor Vance. The bot, adopting the persona of a Mr. Thompson, had called her just as she was preparing for bed. He'd explained with painstaking detail that would have fooled even the most discerning that her account had been flagged for a potential international transfer. Eleanor, a creature of habit and deeply trusting, had readily provided her online banking details. Within minutes, Marcus had accessed her account, siphoning off a significant portion of her savings. The thought of her distress, the helplessness she must have felt discovering the emptiness of her account, was a fleeting shadow in his mind, quickly eclipsed by the thrill of the successful transaction. The operation grew. He scaled up the bot network, acquiring more sophisticated anonymization tools to mask their digital footprint. He learned to anticipate the human element, refining the bot's responses to common questions and objections. He even developed a subroutine that could analyze the victim's tone of voice, adjusting the bot's own cadence and vocabulary to better engender trust. It was a chillingly effective feedback loop. His next major target was a young couple, the Millers, who had recently opened a joint account at Chase. The bots, this time posing as a team of fraud analysts, had contacted them regarding a series of unauthorized purchases. They'd been incredibly thorough, even sending a fake email with a Chase Bank logo, complete with a link to a meticulously crafted phishing page. The Millers, panicked by the prospect of losing their hard-earned money, had eagerly entered their login information into the fake portal. Marcus watched, his heart pounding as the bot confirmed the credentials. He then initiated a series of rapid transfers, moving their funds to a series of offshore accounts he'd set up months in advance. The swiftness of the transaction left no room for doubt. Their money was gone. The sheer volume of data he was processing was immense. He had scripts running constantly, monitoring for new potential victims, managing the bots, and executing the transfers. The complexity was exhilarating. He was playing a high-stakes game of chess against an invisible opponent, the bank's security systems, and he was winning. But with each successful heist, a deeper paranoia began to set in. He knew this couldn't last forever. The digital world, for all its anonymity, was a volatile landscape. A single misstep, a trace left behind, and his carefully constructed empire could crumble. He reviewed the logs from the Miller's account. The transfers were complete. Their account balance was negligible. He felt a surge of adrenaline, quickly followed by a wave of exhaustion. The constant vigilance, the mental strain of orchestrating such a complex operation was taking its toll. He'd been living on caffeine and adrenaline for weeks, his sleep a fragmented, restless affair. He initiated another wave of calls, this time targeting a small business owner who had recently experienced a minor data breach. The bots, now armed with information about the previous breach, could tailor their approach even further, preying on the owner's existing anxieties about security. The story they spun was a chillingly plausible one. "We've detected a pattern consistent with the type of breach you recently experienced, and we need to secure your accounts immediately." As the night wore on, the digital tendrils of his operation spread further. He was a phantom in the machine, an unseen force manipulating the flow of money. He had mapped out his escape route, a series of prearranged transactions designed to launder the stolen funds and obscure his trail. But the weight of his actions, the sheer scale of the fraud he was perpetrating, began to press down on him. He was no longer just a hacker, he was a criminal, and the consequences, if caught, would be severe. Yet the allure of the game, the intoxicating power of controlling vast sums of money with a few keystrokes, kept him tethered to his screen, his fingers dancing across the keyboard, a silent symphony of digital larceny.